What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do these freelance styles, which is pretty much known as offensive sets and freelance sets, which is the same thing as offensive sets and the styles and all that. Post scorers and dunkers and stuff like that. So that's good for teams like the Bucks and stuff like that. So if your team's like the Bucks or either has two good shooters and the rest are just not good at shooting, that's the set for you. Two-man action. That's mainly where two people on the team do all the movement other than the point guard. So like two other people, say like the small forward, which is Giannis Antetokounmpo over here, and Greg Monroe. They'll be on the left side while everybody else on the right side. So like that sets up stuff for like only two people. If you, I say like, think the Heat back in when they had LeBron. There was two stars on that team pretty much. I don't consider Chris Bosh a star, but there was two stars on that team, LeBron and Dwayne Wade. They ran that set a lot. Well, I think they would. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you got to do whenever you're using it. Next up, as your team has two stars in there, so 5 out. That means no one's in the paint. So this is pretty much like an isolation set. Like you can take your dude if you're good at dribbling and all that shit this year. And you can also do these things in my career only if you're a point guard though. That means there's no one in the paint, so you're not getting any rebounds. All you're getting is that isolation so you can break down the point guard. So like think Chris Paul going up against the fucking Magic. So yeah, if your point guard's good enough to fucking break down the defender and slash to the hole without getting resistance, then that sets for you. But be mindful, if they're not shooters in the corners, those defenders will come off. Like watch this, if I get past Curry here, if I can fucking dribble past them, if I get past Curry, you're gonna notice how Draymond Green comes out to help, just because Greg Monroe is not a shooter and he knows that. That's that system 2K is implemented this year. So like I'll slash in a second. See, like Draymond Green's coming out to help because he knows Jabari Parker's not a shooter, he's a dunker. So yeah. The next one is 4 out, 1 in. That's 4 people out and 1 guy in the middle. That's 1 big dude in the middle. That's pretty good for teams like the Warriors. Like you got 4 people outside that can all shoot because they play small ball. So that's good for teams who small ball because you got 4 people outside who can shoot and 1 person in the middle to get the boards and all the rebounds and shit. Like I just said boards and rebounds. Get the rebounds and do the post scoring. So yeah, that's your team suggestion right there. Unless you got any other teams to do stuff like that. Next up is the 3-2 zone. 3-2 zone is where there's 3 people out and 2 people in. And like powerful, yeah, they'll come in set picks sometimes for you, not all the time. Bam, easy point, because I got 2 people in the middle that can bang down there and 3 people out here. It's not good for this team because once again, Giannis Antetokounmpo is not a shooter. All right, next up, wow, bro. Next up, we're gonna be doing 3 out fists. That's where your main 3 guys out there, your point guard, shooting guard, and your center. Not your center. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward are going to be out on the block. And your center is going to be down low. And your power forward is going to be towards the elbow. So that's good for like teams like, say the Timberwolves, who has Kevin Garnett, who loves to shoot that elbow jumper. Elbow jumper. The elbow is right here. So like, you'll usually have someone right there. And some guys in the corner who can shoot. Alright, next set. I don't know why I'm passing the ball when I don't have a shot clock. But yeah. Alright, next up. It's 7 seconds. This set is like most of the college teams run nowadays. Well, I don't know if they run it, or it's unintentional or what. But this will make everybody just stand around pretty much, so you can like try to, if you want to learn how to dribble and you're playing a quick game and you like trying to dribble, I guess this set's for you, because it gives you the whole shot clock to do something until the shot clock gets down to 7 seconds. Then everybody will start moving around instead of pick and roll. But yeah, I don't like that set too much because there's not a lot of movement in 7 seconds. But 80 is where they'll move around in like an 8. So everybody will be moving in the formation of an 8. You can see right there. Like they'll all intertwine in between each other. Think in an infinity symbol. They're moving in an infinity symbol. And you can notice it sometimes. That's how they move around. I honestly don't know what teams are good for that. What comes to mind is the Heat. But next is dribble drive motion. This is new this year. And this is for if you have a good ball handler, like I got him right now, and you dribble past him. That's pretty much the your big guys down in the low block. They're gonna move around to where it draws out those defenders that are guarding them. So pretty much you have the open lane to just dribble and get past your defender, and then you'll have a wide open lane. So like they'll start to move around, see, because they know I'm trying to dribble and get into the post and stuff like that for an easy layup or something. I don't know what team that's good. Use that for the Clippers, it'll work pretty good. Alright, next up is corner. That's pretty much the best shooters on your team will try to get to the corner, like most of the time. Bam. So your shooters think like if you saw over there, Chris Middleton, he was in the corner, towards the corner, even though he's not a shooter, but he was right here where Greg Monroe is. He was man in this spot. Wow, he made me look stupid. But yeah, that's that. All right, next up is the flex. All these were in 2K16. Flex is kind of like what was that? I think it was 5 out. But with the flex, you're gonna have the power forward and the center rotating between getting in the post. So one of them's gonna go out to the corner where you see Antetokounmpo over here. One of them's gonna go out to this corner, and then the center's gonna rotate in. Yeah, see, like you're always gonna have someone in the post. They're gonna constantly move in between the posts. See, like you see Dellavedova was right there, and Greg Monroe was all the way in the corner. But next up is the pace. This is good for most of the teams in the NBA, honestly, because this sets your tone. This is how fast you want to go the game. If you like going fast, you can use this set. If you like going slow, you can use this set. If you like going moderate, you can use this set. because it's set to your liking. Like if you like the dribble, it's still for you because you can do dribbles and then everybody will kind of move around if you want them to. And if you don't like to do dribbles, if you like to pass the ball, it's still good for you. Everybody just moves around constantly. It's like constant motion. It's kind of like motion cuts. Get in there. Ah. But yeah, that's pretty much that on that one. Like I said, it's good for most of the teams in the NBA. Alright, next up is the 1-4 offense. That's where there's one guy on the outside and like 4 people on the inside. There's always movement going around. Those four guys in the middle, there's always movement in between them. There's like, usually sometimes it might be a center just sitting there in the post, but otherwise there's always movement among them. And if you're controlling that one spot, then you're gonna most likely be at the top. They're always gonna try to give you a little room to move around. When did Jason Terry come in the game? Alright, whatever. Alright, where was I? 1-4, flow. Flow is everyone moves around in constant motion looking for an open shot. So pretty much think scoring actions, but in a set. So it's more in depth. Flow. Look at this. When you move towards them, they're gonna move out your way and do more cuts and stuff like that. But everybody otherwise just sits there. Not sit there, I just contradicted myself, but it's hard to explain when you're on a spot like this, but they'll move around when you get near them. Just so you can make them move around, you go near them kinda. And they'll move in different directions, try to look for them the way to get in, slash, and stuff like that. Alright, next up is double motion, what? I don't even know. Double MOE passing game. That is new this year. I've never heard of that shit. But I'm gonna try to use it here. If I can fucking get that off my screen. Alright. God damn, this interface is hard. I don't like it. Alright. But yeah, next up is the Doug motion. I keep wanting to say it's motion. I honestly don't know what the fuck this is. Cause I see 3 dudes on the perimeter and 1 dude moving around. I guess this is just where the center and the power forward moves around in the post and they don't come out of the post. Yeah, I'm guessing there's 2 post options. So if you have 2 good post scorers on your team, i.e. Spurs with Pau Gasol and LaMarcus Aldridge, I guess that's the set for you because it just sets up your power forward and your center to be in the post. So who knows, like, which one are you going to pass to? Are you going to pass to LaMarcus Aldridge so you can hit that step back J in the post? Or are you going to give it to Pau Gasol who has that damn, what is it called? The fucking hook shot. There it is. Yeah. So yeah, it's good for teams like the Spurs who has. Alright, next is a slice. I'm guessing this is where the fucking power forward is just constantly moving up and down, straight up, and there's 2 guys on the out and 1 in. That's my best guess. There's always 1 dude cutting in and everybody else staying out and 1 dude cutting in. That's the best way I can explain it. I really don't know what teams there are for this because I didn't know pre-planning coming into this video. I just doing it. I'm just going off what I got. Ooh. Wow, the computer's really something this year. Alright, next up is the Princeton low. This is where your point guard is going to usually be in the spot I am right now. And there's going to be 1 big guy down in the low block. And they're going to, every so often, they're going to rotate like they're doing right now. This one guy is going to try to come to the top where the Thon Macker was just at. That was the dark-skinned guy over there. He's going to come to the top. And if I come over here, you'll see that everyone shifts around. So let's shift around to where there's always a dude at the top, 1 center in the paint, 1 guy in the corner, and 1 on the elbow 3-point. So that's it. Princeton Chin, I think the dude's gonna be like right here at the top of the key. It's pretty much the same thing, but this center, if you notice it, he came to the free throw line. So I guess this is for like either post players who are good at the top of the key instead of like low block. So low block being if you had Spurs and you had LaMarcus Aldridge, you had LaMarcus Aldridge parked down there, or if you want to bring him up. Damn, he tried to bank that in. But if you want to bring him up, you'd use Princeton Chin instead of Princeton Low. Princeton Low, I guess, you'd have him down there and he can hit the little shimmy hook shot. And Princeton Chin, if you wanted him to hit a step back, just kind of if the defense is, if their defense is adjusting to you using that Princeton Low, you'd switch it up with the Princeton Chin. All right, next up is swing. That's where all your corner guys are like, your two corner guys out here are gonna be like moving around only on the 3-point. Like they're gonna be pretty much like a swing. They're gonna be going from the elbow 3-pointer to the corner 3, and they're gonna be like rotating between that. I guess that's good for whenever your team sets like a lot of picks, like the Warriors, and there's people who can shoot. Why is he so good? There's people like that can shoot. You'll see in a second here. Sometimes they'll set picks for each other to swing around. There's some guys who will fake to the middle, like Mirza Teletovic was just doing. They'll fake to the middle, come back out to the 3. These are teams who have a quick fire release shooters, pretty much i.e. Warriors. And we'll move on here. The next is the floppy set. Alright, floppy set. This is where there's going to be 2 guys, usually in the paint, and 2 people out on the elbows. This is kind of like that Doug MOE set, except when you come in the paint, they'll stay in their respective post spots. But the Doug MOE, whenever you came into the paint while they were set up in a post, they kind of move out of your way so you can get better looks. So that the MOE one is for like teams that don't have good shot blockers. I don't know a team that doesn't have good shot blockers. I guess the Suns, because they don't have defense. But yeah. But this one, I guess if the team doesn't have good blockers, you just get on in there. And next up, shit, I almost passed it up. Next up, the Hawks set. This is the set that the Hawks run, because you know the Hawks have all 5 people that can shoot 3s. Well, they did before Horford left them. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna switch it up this year. But this is where all of your if all of your guys on the floor can shoot, there's always gonna be constant movement towards that 3-point line. There's not really a lot of people on the inside. This is where it differs from the that 5-out set. The 5-out is where they're always gonna stay out there and they're not gonna move really. So that gives you isolation. But this one, the Hawk set, is to where there's gonna be people constantly moving out there trying to look for an open shot on the on that. Have a lot of shooters. Matter of fact, I don't even think they had one. Well, they might have one shooter. through set is where it brings out your center, and your power forward is going to be down there on the low block. So if you have a good power forward that can do post moves, but your center can't really, and you want to bring your center out, like say think the Hawks, because they had their center back when they had Al Horford, and Al Horford was a three-point shooter. He was a three-point shooting center, and Paul Millsap, he can shoot threes, but he got his money from the post. So if your power forward's a better post player than your center, that might be the set for you to run. It's the through set. I'll give you another look at it in a sec here once we get the ball back. God damn, I don't even want to play quick game no more. I think people are gonna use the words, but yeah, we get a good look at it right now. See how the power forward's down there and the center's out here, and there's a guy in the corner that's shooter, and you got Giannis Antetokounmpo right here. He's not a shooter, but he slashes. Get that chase down block. Alright, next up is the horn set. Excuse me there. Alright, so you're gonna have a guy, which is usually your center. He's gonna be at that elbow post spot. He's gonna try to stay there, and there's gonna be another guy at the elbow post spot, and there's gonna be two guys in the corner. This is where, again, I guess I'm trying to think of some good teams off the top of my head. They have two good post scorers. I guess I can say the Grizzlies. Think the Grizzlies because they have shit, I don't even know who that's starting. But Mike Conley can shoot. Their shooting guard, it was either Vince Carter or someone else, and they can shoot. And they had Zach Randolph. They had Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. And Marc Gasol is a pretty good post player, and so is Zach Randolph. So that's like a set for them. You see how, notice how Chris Middleton's not all the way at the three-point line right now until I move closer to him. He's trying to create space for me to slash in if I needed to near him. Alright, so next up, we'll run the Celtics. This is the set that the Celtics use. This is more of a defensive-minded set, since the Celtics were more defensive than offensive. This is to where most of your guys will be kind of towards the back. So if you put up a shot and it went out, they'd already be back in transition. Like, look at this. They're already back in transition. They're waiting on them. So this is more of a defensive set catered towards offensive set catered toward defense. So if you like having stopping their transition without having to change all that other stuff in the coaching menu, this is the set that you can run. Next up, Clippers. This is the set that the Clippers use. I use this set a lot when I play with the Clippers. This sets up to where your main guy, let me give it to the point guard right now. I'm gonna rotate him to the top. So that means somebody goes to the corner, yeah. So one guy's at the elbow, the other guy's in the corner because he can shoot the ball. There's another guy at this elbow three-point, and there's usually DeAndre Jordan right here since he's a low post player. And Blake Griffin, he can also shoot a three, but he's mainly a post player. This is where this set comes into play. So like, say the Chris Middleton's Blake Griffin right now. You see how DeAndre Jordan's just sitting there, and whenever I put the shot up, he's trying to move up to get that offensive board. Yeah, that's kind of how that set works out. You have one shooter in the corner, so you can shoot, pass it out for that shot if you needed to. But yeah, and then your point guard, he'll actually sometimes come around you. If you see, look, if I give it to, I'm trying to wait till he gets in the post. Yeah, if he gets in the point, sometimes the guys will try to make moves around him, so like he can pass it out to him if he needs to. If he's being if he's being guarded too well on the post, he'll be able to pass it out to some of those guys on the line. That dude's still on our team. What the fuck? Thought they got rid of him. Next up. Okay, I think I missed one. No, I know. I already showed you the Hawks. The 86 Celtics motion is pretty much the 86 Celtics, which is the 1986 Celtics. I think they had Larry Bird or some shit like that. But I don't even know. I never even watched basketball back then. So I'm guessing since they had Kevin McHale is a good post player, they always kept him kind of towards the corner post, and then they had another dude at the other corner post. So this reminds me again of that Doug IE motion. But those guys will kind of stay. One of them will stay in the post and one of them won't. So I guess that's why I called it. I don't really know what set they ran, so I'm just gonna skip this one. But I kind of gave you an explanation, but I kind of didn't because I didn't know. This is the set the Hornets use. I don't really know what the Hornets do. That's just the set that they usually use if you like the way the Hornets play. The Knicks, same thing. Jazz motion. That's pretty much the motion they use. That's not the set they use. That's the motion. So that's all their off-ball movement. Like you'll see their small forward, which is usually Gordon Hayward. He's always moving on this three-point line or either posting up sometimes. I think they have Rudy Gobert down there, so that's why he's on the low block. There's kind of a guy rotating towards the corner. So look, right there. He was rotating. He was Jabari Parker was posting up towards that corner spot. Oh, good block. I don't even feel like I'm doing a good job, honestly. I think some of you might get these explanations, but some of you won't. You'll probably like leave a dislike or something. But I hope I helped out. All right, next up, the Heat 2014. This is the set the Heat used back when they had LeBron. So mainly they played through two people, LeBron and Dwayne Wade. And they had Chris Bosh setting up for the post moves and stuff like that. If the fucking, I shouldn't have picked the Warriors to fucking do this against. I should have picked the crappier defense. They really got 70 on me. I'm asleep. All right. Yeah, that's the set that Heat used back when they had LeBron and Wade. And the final set piece is the Warriors, which is the set the Warriors use. If you watch the Warriors game, which probably most of you do, there's always people moving on the outside because almost every member of their team can shoot. Sometimes, yeah, I don't know why they said. Well, yeah, they did have Maurice Bates who could shoot, but yeah, pretty much they'll have everybody on the 3-point because pretty much everybody on that team can shoot.